Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we try to make sense of the confusing world of corporate filings. And today we're diving into National Healthcare Corporation, or NHC. And let's just say things are getting a little complicated with their leases. So what's going on here is NHC has a subsidiary that rents out a bunch of nursing and assisted living facilities, and they have this big lease agreement with a company called National Health Investors. Now, this lease agreement is pretty important, and it's been around since way back in 1991. But recently, NHC got a letter from the landlord, National Health Investors, saying they weren't following the rules on 4 things that aren't about money. This letter came on July 29th, and the landlord gave NHC until August 29th to fix these issues. NHC's lawyers immediately wrote back saying they believed they were following the rules and asked for more information to make sure they could fix anything if there was a problem. Well, the landlord's lawyers wrote back on September 8th saying that NHC was officially in default with the lease because of these 4 non-monetary issues. They said the clock was ticking, and if NHC didn't fix everything within 30 days, it would be a major problem and the landlord could take action. They did provide a little more detail on what they thought was wrong, but NT still doesn't agree. According to the lease, if NHC doesn't fix these non-monetary problems within 30 days of being told, or if they don't try hard enough to fix them over a longer period, then it's considered an event of default. The landlord is basically saying that NHC isn't complying and that the 30-day clock to fix things has started ticking right now. NHC, however, is still saying they don't believe they are in default. They think that if there is any non-compliance at all, it's the kind that they just need to work diligently to fix. And they reckon they've been doing just that. They're still looking into everything and plan to keep talking with the landlord and their lawyers about these concerns. Now, this lease is a big deal because the current part of it ends on December 31st, 2026. NHC has 2 options to extend the lease for 5 years each, starting in 2027 and then again in 2032. The rent for these extensions would be based on what the properties are worth at that time, negotiated between NHC and the landlord. Plus, NHC has the right to buy any of the properties if the landlord gets an offer from someone else. It's worth noting that before the landlord even sent that first letter in July, NHC had already started talking with them about the lease. They plan to keep talking while also trying to sort out these compliance issues, but there's no guarantee they'll agree on everything, and if they can't, there's no guarantee NHC will win any disputes. If NHC loses the right to use these properties through the lease extensions, it could really hurt their financial health and how well they do in business. This whole situation is pretty important for NHC. The company is saying that any statements about the plans for the lease, the properties, and their talks with National Health Investors are forward-looking statements. This just means they are talking about what they expect or intend to do in the future, and that there are always risks with these kinds of plans. Things like what National Health Investors might do, which NHC can't control, or the outcome of any arguments they might have are unknown. You can find more details about these risks in NHC's other filings with the SEC. Looking at this filing, it seems like we have a classic landlord-tenant dispute brewing, but on a very large scale impacting a lot of healthcare facilities. NHC believes they are in the right, or at least are taking reasonable steps to comply, while National Health Investors is taking a harder line, claiming default. The key for NHC here is that these aren't just any properties, they are the core of their business operations as a healthcare provider. Losing access to them, especially through the renewal options, would be catastrophic for their business model and financial stability. The fact that NHC was already in negotiations before this dispute arose suggests there might be underlying issues with the lease agreement itself or the landlord's strategy. It's a risky situation and the outcome will heavily depend on how the negotiations and potential legal battles unfold. Alright, that's our look into National Healthcare Corporation's lease situation. What are your thoughts on this dispute and its potential impact on NHC? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. And don't forget to join our Discord community for more discussions. The link is in the video description. Thanks for watching.